Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Ross on Cars. I'm Ross Furlong and this is a Volvo XC90 T8 Ultra. Right, so the Volvo XC90 T8 Ultra, which I've got behind me, I was keen to get this in really just to compare it with the Discovery that I reviewed recently. I wanted to find out what makes this car so much more successful than something like the Discovery. I mean, it's been selling 100,000 plus units a year since its second generation relaunch in 2014. And the only car that's getting anywhere near that these days in this category is the new Defender. So, but you know, it's 10 years old. How's it doing it? I think part of the secret is that it started off as a very nice looking car. It's a handsome, safe, nice riding family vehicle with lots of thoughtful touches in it. And they've been updating that over the years. And this car behind me now has got a bigger electric. It's a PHEV, it's a plug-in hybrid, so it's got a big electric motor on the back axle, 150 brake horsepower electric motor to add to the petrol motor on the front, so it adds up to about 445 brake horsepower, and that's good for 0 to 60 in 5.4, so pretty swift. Though I wouldn't say this is a particularly sporty car. It's more of a kind of a high-powered limo, if you like. This has got air suspension on this particular model. So that's one of the secrets, I think, that it has just updated itself. And yeah, this is a very nice looking car. This one in particular is on 21-inch wheels. It's black. I wouldn't necessarily spec black. I like a blue or maybe a silver or something like that. But yeah, it's a great looking car. There's a few things on the inside, being the Ultra, that I really should show you, including the stereo. So let's go and have a look at that now. Right, well, the interior of this Volvo XC90 Ultra T8 is very, very nice indeed. It's very Scandi, it's very kind of minimalist, very luxurious, very quiet. One thing I noticed in particular when I got in was that the navigation system here and the entertainment system has been upgraded. So there's a lot more options on there. You've got Google Maps, for example, which is great to see, and it appears both on the screen here and also through your steering wheel in this kind of binnacle area, so that's quite handy. Plus it's got a heads-up display for speed and so on, which is great. You've got Apple CarPlay here, and you do have to attach your phone to a cord to make that work, but you know, it's no biggie. One slight criticism of the minimalism in here, and I won't be the first to say this, is that trying to manage the heating controls when you're bobbing along on a B road with two kids in the back and cars coming out of side roads and so on isn't ideal. Really, you want a switch for that. So Volvo, if you're listening, I would love to see you move your heating controls, you know, back onto the sort of switch system, like the Discovery. Probably the only thing the Discovery's got on you is that it's got that. What else? The stereo is brilliant in here. It's an amazing thing. I read somewhere that the whole car is a sort of a subwoofer for the Bowers and Wilkins stereo. Sounds brilliant. It's up there with the Tesla soundbar for me in terms of sound quality. This car's got a extra long sunroof on it, so the whole of the roof section is sunroof, which is lovely, and the front section will open up. The seats are very comfortable, unlike the Defender. I'd like to get that in if I can. Yeah, really comfortable seats and lots of space in the back. The children liked being in the back this morning on the way to school. And of course, the third row seats, the two seats that pop up, are very easy to get at. You can do it one-handed famously, though you do have to give the third set of seats a good push to get them kind of into position. And then in the boot, they've got that kind of board that comes up so that when you put your shopping bags in, your baked beans don't roll around in the back of the boot, which is one of the more annoying things about modern day cars. So yeah, it's hard to beat the interior here. Lots to see. It's lots of glass. But I want to tell you a little bit about how it rides now. So let's get it out on the road and I can show you what I mean. Right, so here we go. A bit late for the school run. It's got plenty of poke, this thing. 5.4 0 to 60. but you don't really want to be hustling around corners quite so much. The air suspension is lovely, but it's more of a kind of a cruising sort of smooth deal. And around these kind of B roads here, yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it's not what you might call a sort of Cayenne style dynamic handling car. It's more of a stroller than a racer. But good to know you've got a bit of power there if you need it. I sort of noticed I've driven this car for about 3 or 4 hours since yesterday, and it reminds me of the one we had before. It sort of reacquainted me with what that ride is like and what it's like to drive, and it just does everything very, very well. Really, it's lot, you know, you can see everything in front of you. Um, it's got very good reversing camera on it, so it's got that kind of drone thing above you, so you can see everything, the 360 picture of the reversing, which is handy in the countryside with all the trees and who knows what around. It's quiet, seats are very comfortable. It rolls a bit, but not as much. I wouldn't say it's as wallowy as the Discovery felt in some corners, though I understand you can change the settings in the Discovery to sort of improve that a bit. What I would say is missing a little bit, just generally with this car, is the kind of connection with it. Personally, I don't know if it's like a personal thing, I suppose, but I just don't really feel that I had such a connection with this car as I did with, say, the Discovery. And it's something that my son also kind of noticed. He just preferred the Disco being in it, and we're not quite sure exactly what it is, but whatever the combined ingredients are, this car for me doesn't sort of lacks a certain connection. I don't know what that is exactly, but it is, you know, fantastic machine. It does everything very, very well. This one is in this spec currently. If you tried to order it, you're looking at north of £84,000. So it's actually really a very expensive car. This, you can get into it, say a diesel core version for about 62. That's where they kind of start at. And they do normally offer some quite good deals on them. So it'd be tempting to see what a diesel one would come out at in the right spec for you, probably mid to high 60s. Would I buy one again? Don't think I would, you know. Don't think I would. I don't think there's enough of a connection for me with the car. Like I said before, when I go back the other one, I didn't really miss it at all. And I think I feel the same way, really. It's just reminded me of how I feel. I mean, there's nothing wrong with these cars. They're brilliant cars, and they sell shed loads of them, but it's just not really one for me, I think, again. But it's been very interesting. I think I wanted to do that comparison with the Discovery, just to see, you know, what I thought, whether I'd missed a trick with this. But yeah, I know I totally get it now. So the next car might need to be something like a Cayenne, just to see if I can find a 4x4 SUV that has more dynamic handling characteristics, and just to see whether I actually really want that. That would be an interesting next car to have. So hopefully might see you for the next one. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode of Ross on Cars. If you did, press like down below and subscribe, because I've got lots of interesting cars coming up this autumn. Hope to see you next time.